Someone is lurking. Play dumb and don't say nothing. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family. Someone is lurking. Play dumb and don't say nothing. Somebody drop in the comments and say, I see you lurking. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, I see you lurking. Now, today, y'all, we're going to talk about the different type of lurking, right? Now, oftentimes I speak about how things are on social media, in the digital world, people using AI, all right, people watching you, cyber hacking, all these different things. But when I say lurking, y'all, it's going to be an actual person, y'all, a physical person who is lurking within your life. They're going to actually walk up to you, try to shake your hand, try to have a conversation, maybe even buy you a drink, buy you dinner. They're going to be lurking because what's going to happen is they're going to see your presence, okay? They're going to see your energy. They're going to see that you are chosen. They're going to see everything about you, and it's going to entice them to try to get in the loop, right? They're trying to get in the loop. And what that means is they're trying to get your blessings. They're trying to destroy your blessings. And they're trying to get a piece of everything you have. Therefore, they're going to lurk. They're going to ask questions they have no business knowing the answer to, right? Listen, y'all, when people see that you are about to become successful, they will hitch their cart towards yours, okay? Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, when people see that you are about to become successful, they will hitch their cart towards yours, which means they will attach themselves and you didn't even ask. All you did was answer some questions that they asked, right? People will make it their business to become your best friend. I hate to say it, y'all, but there's a lot of fake people in the industry, right? Whether it's the music industry, tech companies, you know, any type of industry, right? The movie industry, any type of industry. There's a lot of fakeness. You know why? Because people are trying to befriend other individuals that they may need. They're trying to befriend other people that they may be able to benefit from. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? And so this is another form of people lurking, right? I mean, something as simple as when I go outside, y'all, and record my videos, guess what? There's someone lurking. Now, somebody may be sincerely inspired, motivated, right? Appreciate the work that I do. I don't take away from it. But there's also someone else who's like, why do we have a camera out? Why is he walking and talking? Why is he recording? Let me lurk in his life and see what I can get from him. You see what I'm saying, y'all? And this is when you have to learn how to utilize your gift of discernment. If you are chosen, this is a gift that you have, right? Somebody drop that down below in the comments. Gift of discernment. You have this. So, family, I tell you, play dumb and don't say nothing because someone is lurking. Now, mind you, this can be random people. This can be your co-workers. This can be the people at your church. This can be people at the gym, even family or friends, all right? And the worst of them all, the person you sleep next to, they lurking, all right? But family, we're going to go ahead and get directly into this video. But before we do so, as y'all can see, we are outside connected with nature. We outside, y'all, all right? Waterfall is going. The birds are chirping. Geese are geesing, all right? Everything is pretty much what it is. Same old, y'all. It's feeling like it's about 75 degrees out here. It's real humid in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? The Jazz Festival coming up. Y'all know I may pop out, right? I'm getting ready for that. And I'm just really blessed, y'all, to see another day. So my word of encouragement today would just simply be to appreciate your blessings. Once again, y'all drop that down below in the comments. Appreciate your blessings because things could be a lot worse, right? People getting fired, people being laid off. You know, people are confused. They're lost. They're trying to figure out what it is that God has called them to do. So I can truly understand that. But family, if you got a door to walk in and call home, I don't even care if it's not yours, right? At least you got somewhere to lay down. If you got something to drive, I don't care if you got a bicycle. At least you got something to ride on, right? Pause. I don't care what it is, y'all. Appreciate your blessings, all right? But with that being said, y'all, on this, I want to say this is a Monday, top of the top. Listen, y'all, we blessed. I'm sending nothing but love, peace, prosperity, and happiness towards the family. Listen, y'all be sure to leave a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. Once again, y'all, someone is lurking. Oh, yeah, y'all. They watching. They can't wait. They can't wait for you to slip up and tell them some information so they can run and tell your enemies. All right? But listen, y'all, God got you. Somebody drop in the comments and say, run and tell that. Shout out to Martin on that one, y'all. Somebody drop in the comments and say, run and tell that. All right? God got you. But anyway, y'all, someone is lurking. Play crazy. All right? And don't say nothing. All right? But with that being said, y'all, number one, first thing is first. They are looking for a loophole, all right? They are looking for a loophole. Now, the reason why they're looking for a loophole is because they're trying to see where can they fit in. See, users always have a problem that they can solve for you in the very beginning, right? I was watching Dreamgirls, actually last night. Y'all remember when Jimmy Early was the main act. And for those who don't know, Dreamgirls is loosely based on the truth about the story of Diana Ross, the Supremes. All right, for those who know, y'all know. But anyway, Jimmy Early was the main, topic. He was the main attraction. Jimmy Early was the one that brought the fame and brought the prestige to everybody else that was around him, right? And so Curtis was the manager of all of them, the business person. Curtis pretty much used Jimmy Early. But see, what happened was he presented a proposition to Jimmy Early. Yeah, y'all. He said, the Dream Girls can sing behind you. They can sing backup because we're trying to help you. See, he needed a temporary fix, right? And he didn't necessarily need them to become more famous. He was already an established artist, but they were a compliment to what he had going on. Make sense, y'all? And so, as time progressed, he's using Jimmy Early and using Jimmy Early. And before you know it, he used him until he couldn't no more. Drained him out like a prune. He was looking for the loophole. And Jimmy Early's friend told him, hey, man, don't trust this guy. He's using you, and you can't even see it. This is how they operate, y'all. They're looking for the loophole. They're looking for an insecurity. They're looking to see if you need any help in any area. They're looking for a weakness. They are looking for a weak link in the chain. This is why I always say be mindful of who you attach yourself to, because you are only as strong as your weakest link. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Another one, the movie Click with Adam Sandler. You remember, y'all, he hated his life. He couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand work. He wanted to get a promotion. He couldn't stand how he was treated at home. He was behind on work. I mean, he was just a wreck mentally and emotionally, right? However, he meet this guy inside of a Bed and Beyond, right? And this guy's in the back, the very back. And he asked him for a universal remote. Well, what Adam Sandler did not know was the universal remote was going to be the remote that literally controlled his universe, which means his life, his world. And at first he was loving it. Once he got it, he went back to the dude and said, hey, man, I love this new remote. He was just talking about the remote. I love it. But what happened was, y'all, is that the guy left out the particulars. He took advantage of the loophole. He gave him the remote control, didn't tell him the particulars, and what Adam Sandler fell in was inside of that loophole. He didn't know that fast forwarding his life, the parts he didn't like, the parts he couldn't stand, fast forwarding those things, it actually made him get older and older and older and older, and he was missing the major parts of his life. And he didn't realize it until he got to the end, to when he was about to die. Well, case in point here, y'all, that was a loophole, right? People are constantly looking to see what are your weaknesses, to see how can they take advantage. This is why I say, y'all, you chosen. You got to be extra careful, all right? Listen, family, someone is lurking. Play crazy, okay? play crazy, and don't say nothing. Don't live your life in fear, but be mindful of who you telling your business to, all right? Number 2, y'all, it's gonna be this right here, y'all. Their advice is irrelevant, okay? Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, their advice is irrelevant. Now, listen, y'all. I'm a firm believer in if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room, right? I try to keep myself in rooms where people know more than me. They make more money than me. They have more than me, right? I'm not saying that they are a better person than me, okay? Or I'm not even saying that they are superior to me. I'm saying in terms of knowledge, they have a bit more, and that's what you want. It's okay, right? However, y'all, you got to know who to get your advice from. So for instance, let's just say you have a business, right? This means that chances are you probably take risk. If you have a business, this means that chances are you stay up a little later than everybody else. If you have a business, you want a little bit more out of life. You are not, settling for what society has said that you are only deserving of, right? Well, if you get advice from a person who works a 9 to 5, if you get advice from a person who's not really worried about prospering in life, then their advice is irrelevant. What are you saying right now? I know it probably feel hard, okay? I know you probably are a bit confused. I know they are here in a time of convenience, right? Convenience is what gets a lot of us. Convenience is what allows us to be in relationships we ain't got no business being in. Convenience, right? Mike Epps told a joke. He was like, my baby mama now, she great. But look at the baby mamas in the past. I was only there because of the convenience, right? Somehow he put it. But a lot of times you get in certain situations because of a convenience. Convenience is not always good, all right? Convenience can be dangerous. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. Convenience can be dangerous, right? So, sticking to it, y'all, if you are a person who is accepting advice from a person who's not even on your level, going in the direction that you're going in, their advice is irrelevant. This is why I say, be mindful. Someone is lurking, but play crazy and don't say nothing, because their advice is irrelevant, all right? You take a person who's in a relationship, why are you getting advice from a single person? Be mindful who you are speaking to for no reason. Be mindful of who you are telling your business to for no reason. Because I understand that you are inquisitive. I understand that you are seeking. I understand that you're trying to find. I understand that you are knocking on doors. But every door you knock on is not divine, all right? Be mindful of the door you knock on. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. Once again, their advice is irrelevant. It does nothing for you, okay? Number 3, it's going to be this right here, family. Next thing, this is a test from God, all right? This is a test from God. And what the test is called, it's called patience. It is called patience, y'all. This is a test from God. Now, let me explain what I mean, y'all. Oftentimes, we are in a rush to get to a destination. We are in a rush to hurry up and get some information. We are in a rush to hurry up and make something happen. But it even says in the scriptures, y'all, be anxious for nothing, right? Somebody drop that down below in the comments. Be anxious for nothing. So with that being said, y'all, if you are in a position to where God is testing your patience, then you may want to pass it, right? Because if you don't pass this test, then your impatience is going to cause you to be in a situation that's going to harm you, or this is going to cause you to be in a world full of pain. Now let's take, for instance, when Abraham and Sarah was trying to have a baby, right? That was a test of patience. Why? Because they were old, right? Or they were older, if you will. And Sarah was 90 years old, right? When they said that she was going to have a baby. Now, they was like, what? That's crazy. How am I going to have a baby at 90 years old? All the naysayers are saying, you can't do it, right? All the naysayers are saying, that's impossible. Everybody who looked down on you anyway are saying, how are you going to make this happen? So they cause you to rush the test. All right? See, somebody drop in the comments and say, I won't let you rush me. Now, understand this right here, y'all. When they was trying to do it on their own, they had a baby out of wedlock. His name was Ishmael. Ishmael was the child that Abraham had with his servant, okay? And it got so bad that God pretty much casted her out. She didn't do nothing wrong, but it was an act of impatience, and it was causing turmoil in Abraham's household, right? Or back in those days, his tent, his village, right? But sticking to the point, y'all, that was an act of impatience. He kept trying with his wife Sarah, and it never happened because he wasn't following God's test, or he wasn't passing God's test. So he took upon himself and said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. All right, Sarah, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do it with the servant around here, and she can carry the baby for us, and that'll be our own child. And she agreed to it, right? In fact, I think that she insisted. However, she ended up biting her own foot, because when it happened and when it came, it breeded jealousy. And she couldn't stand to see him having a relationship with the baby mother. I like to tell people, Abraham was the first man with the baby mama. Yep, y'all, I believe Abraham was the first man in the Bible who had a baby mama. I'm just going to be honest. But sticking to the point, y'all, that was an act of God's test. And the test was called patience. You got to have some form of patience. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. Moving on to the next one, family, is going to be number 4. That is imitation, not inspiration. Yeah, y'all. Imitation, not inspiration. See, some people only want to lurk around you, only want to ask you questions, only want to see how you're living your life, etc., because they want to imitate you and not be inspired by you. All right? Now, here's the thing, y'all. I know we have a person called Michael Jackson, right? There was a person called Jackie Wilson. There was a person called James Brown. And they all had their inspirations who they once imitated. But see, there's a difference in between imitating a person because you are inspired by them. There's another thing called imitating a person because you're really envious of them. See, that's a whole nother ball game. Yeah, that's a whole nother situation. If you're going to imitate Reno Speaks Riches, let it be because you are inspired by me, not because you are envious of me and you're trying to take my spot. See, somebody drop in the comments and say, you can't take my spot. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, you can't take my spot. Now, when they are imitating you, you have to know that they're trying to take your secret sauce. They're trying to take your anointing. They're trying to embody your spirit, right? They probably got shrines up of you on their wall, just trying to be like you. But family, they can take my exact hands. They'll never work with my hands the way that I work with my hands. That's the same thing with you. They can take your exact hands, but they'll never work with your hands the way that you work with your hands. You know why? Because God anointed your hands and not theirs. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. Next thing is going to be this right here, y'all. Number 5. It's a false friendship, right? It's a false friendship. I was watching some content on School of Hard Knocks, right? Shout out to that boy there, man. He got some good content. And one of the guys who he interviewed was, I want to say, a Deca millionaire, right? And he has friends who are billionaires. And he said that one of the ways that you befriend these billionaires is by being genuine, right? Humanize the situation. Stop dehumanizing the relationship. Don't be transactional. See, we have a lot of people, y'all, who are transactional. The reason why you're talking to this person is because it's transactional. The reason why you're trying to have dinner with this person is because it's transactional. Meaning, I will get something back instantaneously the moment I have a conversation with you, right? Let's just say I'm a billionaire. Somebody walk up to me. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? Do you mind being on my podcast? Transactional. The first thing you said to me was, hey, and then you followed it up with, can you be on my podcast? No, because you're being transactional. But let's just say we have a regular conversation and we're talking for about 20, 30 minutes, right? And I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me. You like me, I like you. Hey, you know what? Let's see if we can do some business together. Makes sense to what I'm saying, y'all? That's not transactional. That's more so of a genuine relationship. Reno, what are you saying right now? Most people are false friends, right? That's a false friendship. And see, they're lurking to see what they can get out of you, but they're gonna come in the form of a false friendship. In the moment they can't benefit from you no more, that friend is no longer a friend. But here's the key: they were never a friend from the jump. Make sense, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. All right, somebody drop in the comments and say you're not my friend. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say you're not my friend. All right. But this is just a brief reminder that someone is lurking. Play crazy and don't say nothing. In other words, y'all, you got the right to remain silent. Listen, family, y'all already know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all get one of those Yes Sir t-shirts, get the Yes Sir hoodie, enroll into the Social Influence course. Y'all be sure to book a one-on-one session with your boy. And of course, y'all get ready for RMA, the Rich Mentality Academy, all right? I'm about to have it launched very soon. I'm already getting ready with the first course. I have a total of 2 courses in there, and I'm going to drop the next course in there, but I'll already have it launched by then, right? You will have access to 2 courses. But with that being said, y'all, I will catch y'all in the next video. Y'all keep a rich mentality. Peace.